Welcome, sales and marketing pros, to Making Sales Social Live, coming to you from the Social Sales Link virtual studios. I'm Bob Woods. Stan Robinson has the next couple of weeks off, but I am joined by my SSL teammate, Bryn Tillman. Bryn, how you doing? Are you melting out in the heat there on the East Coast right now?
Yeah, it's pretty hot outside, but I'll tell you, we've got some good air conditioning, so I'm doing just fine. And yeah, I just Stan is taking a class in the next few weeks. So I can't wait to hear what he learned.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That should be good. So speaking of kind of class stuff, let's get into today's topic, which centers around video. So video continues to be a hot topic in social. And as B2B salespeople, we can use it to our advantage to start those all important first sales conversations, especially because so few in B2B sales are using it even now, even though we harp on it here. And quite frankly, a lot of other people do too. You're still not seeing a lot of other B2B salespeople use it, which I don't know about you, Bryn, but I think is really interesting.
It is, and I'll tell you, LinkedIn now has Reels. So
Yeah.
if you go onto your mobile, you can see, LinkedIn is feeding in videos, and I'm starting to see just regular people. It's not
Yeah.
just influencers anymore. So, I mean,
Yep.
I'm very
God.
fortunate I get to do a couple of sponsored videos by LinkedIn. So they're showing up, which is really fun.
Neat.
But I'm really blown away. I mean, you've got LinkedIn learning videos, but you've also got I had stands pop up in my feed. So if
Very
we're
cool.
yeah, it's cool. So if we're putting that video out, LinkedIn is feeding it to us. So yeah, here's a few things about video, and I'll throw it back to you before we get into tactics. But
Yeah.
strategically, video really connects you with an audience. Video is the difference between someone learning from you and getting to feel like they know you, right? So
Yep.
they can learn from ebooks. We do lots of ebooks and blog posts, but it's the video. And for us, most of our video are these live streams, right? And so people will come up to me at events and say, they know me because of video, because of
Yep.
being out there. So it is so important. And the news saying, it used to be it's about who you know, but the new saying is it's about who knows you.
Yep.
And video is the magic piece to that. Now, we absolutely promote one-on-one video, private video from your mobile. You can send a video message, but we're talking today about a little bit of edited video
Yep.
that now technology is making pretty simple.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I've got a couple points that I wanna talk about too, but if you're into numbers, here is a really good one for you that I just discovered today, actually, and I'm not sure if you've heard of this number, Brent, but according to a study by HubSpot, videos are 12 times more likely to be shared on social media than text and images combined.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean that right there. I mean, we talk about expanding, getting those sales conversations started. If people don't know you, they're not going to necessarily want to start a sales conversation with you. If you have more and more people sharing your videos, more and more people are going to start seeing you as the expert in your field, which is one of the points I've got coming up. But you know, video ain't going away. I hope that's obvious, especially with LinkedIn starting Reels now. And, Reels are on Instagram and on, Facebook, and there are other platforms that are using it. And, one of the things that you get from LinkedIn videos and actually videos on other platforms too, but we'll concentrate on LinkedIn here is higher engagement rates.
Mhm.
So because it combines visual and auditory elements, you're capturing and retaining a viewer's attention much more effectively. I mean, because think about it. You could be just sitting there just kind of reading something and you may get distracted, or the cat comes on your keyboard or whatever and screws you up. When it comes to, video though, you're there, you're watching it, and you're also getting much more personalization and authenticity out it too, with it too, because unlike text rather, video allows your prospects to see your face, as you said, hear your voice, interpret your body language. You are creating a much more human connection with your
Mhm.
audience that can make your outreach feel more personal and less like the generic sales pitches that we continue to get all the time in email and LinkedIn and all that stuff. So when you share a success story, a case study, or even your own journey, but you're doing it in a visually engaging way with your own words and showing you explaining things, it resonates so much more with your audience than typical written content or content with a graphic or whatever. And like I said before, that ain't going away. So you really need to concentrate more on videos if you're not doing it already. And plus, as I said before, no one else is doing it, or few people are doing it. I really can't say no one anymore because people are
Yeah, lots
starting
of
to jump
people
on
are,
this.
but yeah, it's still early adopters.
Yeah, it's still early adopters.
At least
And
on LinkedIn. Now,
yeah,
obviously, TikTok, you
yeah,
know yeah, but on LinkedIn and, and they are really now looking for TikTok style video.
yeah,
And so, what is that? That's 90 seconds or less.
yep,
Uh, and you said the word resonate, and I think that's really important. There are 5 things that we recommend all your content do, including your videos. And the first thing is resonate with your buyer. They
mhm,
need to know right away that this video is for them. Next is create curiosity. That's how they stick around to listen. Then you need to teach them something new that leads them to your solution, not with your solution. It's not a pitch, but it's an education, an insight, a tip, a strategy that gets them to go, that's interesting. And then they need to start picturing it in their environment. And then
yep,
the fifth thing is we need it to be compelling enough for them to take action, whether
right.
it's a reaction or a comment or a connection request. Like it really needs to be important. It really needs to be actionable, something that gets them to move from lurker to engager. I can't remember the new word we're supposed to be using.
Uh,
Spectator from
Spectator.
spectator to
I
engager.
I knew it
I
began
like
with an S,
lurker.
but I couldn't come up with it. I am putting a Post-it note on my monitor right now, so I will never say lurker
I
again.
know, lurker. It's fine. But anyway, we can't start a conversation with someone unless they're engaging. If we don't
Yep.
know who they are, we can't start a conversation. So now, let's talk a little bit about um, different kinds of video and the 2 apps that this whole program is about. So you can do raw video. So you can absolutely just do a video. You can post it on LinkedIn. You don't need editing. LinkedIn will actually give you the option for captions that you can then edit the captions there. And, if you're good on the fly, you could absolutely do that. One of the things that I noticed, and because LinkedIn sponsored 2 videos, I'm looking closely at how they're editing, right? I'm looking at what they're doing, how they're branding, the movement, the icons that they're putting in. There's all kinds of kind of fun little they have a B-roll, they have B-roll into screen sharing. So as we're looking at this, we're thinking, okay, this is great, but they have a professional editing team and it's not
Yep.
cheap.
No.
So I'm going to start with CapCut, which is, I think it was $100 for the year. And it is a very, very easy to use tool where you take your video, you upload your video, you can drop any B-roll. So if you have a Canva account and you find a little video and you can drop it in certain second increments. So if you drop it in and it's, 3 seconds or 5 seconds, but you want it, but the whole thing was 10 or 15 seconds, then you can move it down and it'll keep. It's just phenomenal how it does that. It has lots of music that you could put behind it, lots of options. There's so much you can do in the editing side. And I really like CapCut. And Joe Sabatino is the one that introduced it to us in a
Yep.
master class. So if you'd like to learn more about it, we have the master class in the free library. Go to socialsaleslink.com/library or scan the code if you're here live. So now I found, and I'm obsessed with, BigVu.
Yeah.
So BigVu, a little more expensive, not significantly more, and it has much of what CapCut has, but there's two things that I love more. The first thing is it has a teleprompter on your phone. So you can have your script written, you can run the phone, and the way that it runs is it looks like you're looking in the video the whole time. So it certainly makes it easy. The second thing that I love is you can do all the editing on desktop. So you can record it on your phone, log into desktop, bring in B-roll. Now the B-roll is not, it's simple. It's not as drag and drop as CapCut, but for me, I'm grabbing video off of my desktop. I'm grabbing maybe some B-roll of LinkedIn, and so I can drag and drop. The other thing is, and this is what we're doing, just so it's starting today, is our team is pulling down transcripts. They're finding our quotes. They're going in and putting in BigVu the quotes. Then I'm going to go in, and if this works great, then I'm sure Bob and Stan will start doing this. But we just started doing this today. They're going to they're going to put in the transcript, and then this is that I can go in, I can record it. Then the video person has the recording, so I can record it on my phone. And then all the way in the Philippines, they can log in to our BigVu and do the editing. And then from there, we can download it and upload it. And they can download it and upload it to places. So
Very neat.
these are, yeah. So there's CapCut, which I think is much more popular. And then
Yeah.
more people know about it. But BigVu is BigVu.tv. And I think, and now I've got to make sure I did this. If it's live and I'm wrong, I will correct it. So if you're listening to this in replay, it will work. If you go to socialsaleslink.com/BigVu. No, it works. Socialsaleslink.com/BigVu. It's an affiliate link, so we might get a couple bucks, who knows. But socialsaleslink.com/BigVu, BigVu.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I mean, this is all newer for us. Our team does all of our video editing in like Adobe and all these big, massive programs, right?
Yep.
Now we're like, wow, a little bit of AI and a little bit of just getting comfortable is going to go a long way. And I think we're going to try to have someone from BigVu come in and do a master class for our entire community. So, which is
Yeah.
exciting.
That's very exciting. That's very exciting. So now you have the tools and everything else. There is one thing that I want to touch on really quick before we go, and because Brenda's been talking, and we've been talking mainly about pre-produced videos. I do want to get into live streaming just really quick, especially because that's what we're doing right now. We are doing a LinkedIn live session, unless, of course, you're listening to us on podcast, which actually is part of the reason why you want to do a LinkedIn live, because you can actually chunk out portions
Sure.
of what you say and then put those into smaller videos. This extends your reach.
Mhm.
You get to reuse over and over. It gives you kind of almost a green kind of environmental mindset because you are recycling things, but you're recycling obviously only the good things. So your word gets
You take
and
out all the bad ones.
yeah, exactly. So, you know, uh, so you get to use all of the bright insights that you have, but you also just when you're talking about just the live, you now have an interactive way to connect with your audience of prospects in real time, which I think is really cool too,
Mhm.
because you know, it helps you build a stronger connection, provides an opportunity to ask to address questions and concerns, and you get to do it live. Plus, when you answer someone's question in a live, you're likely answering that same question that someone else had, which I think is really cool too. And then that also gets into the whole education thing. You get to prove that you are the thought leader that you are in your industry, and that's all really cool too. Plus, when you do this, you can go out to platforms, like X and Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, if you have enough viewers, and YouTube, and we're even talking about doing something on Twitch now too, which is really interesting for us potentially. So, um, you know, there is so much just overall going on with video, and I think it's really really cool because you can stand out from your B2B sales competitors. You can bring your thought leadership and education to your audience of prospects, and guess what, if you can do it in an entertaining way, like I think I said before, there's that retention there, and you can really really have an impact on people so that hopefully they'll want to have that initial conversation with you. And we're actually doing some comments right now, so you
Yeah,
can
well,
tell
let's
if you're with
have
us live
right.
right now.
So Erica asked, "Are you using StreamYard for the live stream?" We actually use Restream.
Right.
We used StreamYard a long time ago, and I mean, years and years ago, we had some glitches, so we switched to Restream. But I know so many people that love StreamYard. I think
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
both great.
yeah, yeah.
And then hello to Lisa, who said, "This is some great information. Thank you. Our pleasure.
Why
We
we're
love."
here.
Yeah. So while if you guys are watching live, if you scan the LinkedIn library code, you will get invited to some of our upcoming events. One of them is, and I think it's this Thursday, is Be Our Guest to
Yep,
Coaching.
it is a Thursday.
So if you go, you can actually go to socialsaleslink.com/events. If you're listening to this in replay, you can still go to socialsaleslink.com/events and look at our next Be Our Guest to Coaching. But you can join Bob, Stan, and myself Thursdays, 1 o'clock Eastern. Once a month, it's free. You come in as a guest and you can ask all your questions around video, around anything LinkedIn or AI.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. We are here as a resource for you, and we love doing it. That's why we keep on doing it. So and again, video is big. Video is not going away. I know I've
You
said that a lot this time,
do.
but true.
Right.
It's It's true. So, whether you're talking about recording yourself
Mhm.
or live videos, live sessions like this one, and then you cut them up and then feed them out like that. You really should be doing it, if for no other reason that there are more people starting to do it now, but it's still at that early adopter stage, and this is one this is one avenue that you can take to where you're in early and you can just ride that wave.
Yes, but on LinkedIn, it's early.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, yeah, on LinkedIn,
recognize
it
on
is
all
early.
the other platforms, we're
Yeah,
actually
so
late to the game.
well
But
so here's the thing though, a lot of those people are using video, but you have to ask yourself, how many people in your industry are
right.
using video on those channels? Because, video may be huge on those things, but if no one else is in your industry and
Mhm.
you are using video specifically for your industry, you're actually an early adopter.
That's a very good point. That really is. So,
Yeah.
yes, and B2B is much slower,
Yep.
than B2C. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And LinkedIn is still beta testing,
Yes.
really. So you are early for that. But I also agree with you. Let's spread out to if you're making the video, put it everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Absolutely. 100%.
All
So,
right.
yeah, so let's let us take ourselves home or something like that. That didn't sound right,
Taking a
but
picture for a landing.
yeah, that's it. There we go. So, so thanks again for joining us for this episode of Making Sales Social Live. If you're with us live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or X right now, we do this every week. So keep an eye out for our live sessions. If you're listening to us on our podcast, therefore we've been recorded, and you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button to access all of our previous shows and be alerted when new ones drop. If you'd like more info on our podcast, go to socialsaleslink.com/podcast. And we do two shows weekly. We do this one and our Making Sales Social interview series, where we talk with leaders and experts in sales, marketing, business, and so many more areas that we hope and we know that you will find interesting. So, when you are out and about this week and every week, be sure to make your sales.
Social. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.